Welcome to forever, man. Let's go. Come on. It's forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever.
Tell me. I want to know.
Okay. I'll tell you. I'll tell your son. I'll tell Heather.
More you the daddy.
Okay.
You know how many times I've heard that on my show? You know what I say to it all the time? I'm the father of some, but not many.
Okay.
It's Tony.
In the case of 2-month-old Zayon, Tony, you are the father. Just take care of that baby. That's all I care about. So, when it comes to 3-month-old Taylin, Miguel, you are the father.
Hey folks, this is the MCU'S Witty Edge YouTube channel and podcast, and we are here to do part 2 of our Infinity War review, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers 3, one of our last entries in our Infinity War saga review saga, Infinity Saga review series, I'm sorry. I apologize, folks. I banged Betty White, and I caught some of that red herp, you know what I'm saying, like Grand Admiral Thrawn picked up, you know what I'm saying, for the night wishes and shit and whatnot, so I'm hurt a little bit. But anyways, I'm just a pop culture guy, sir. You are the father, right? Just to be clear. Cyberneticshark.
No. I'm a single rich lord of time in the time cut dimension. So just make that clear.
The co-host Cyberneticshark, sir. Could you imagine if Andres had to step in for Maury on Maury's show, and Andres had to handle that shit?
I can completely do that.
You're muted, sir. Could you imagine if Cop stepped in for Maury one show for a show? That would be a joke.
I think it would be the end of Maury Povich if he stepped in, unfortunately.
Did you hear Maury fucking talking shit to that chick when she was like, Maury, you're the father? Maury was like, what did he say? He was like, I say it all the time. I'm the father, but only of some of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Maury is a stone cold fucking gangsta on that shit. Holy fuck.
He's been doing it for 30 years. What do you expect?
I would expect that probably some of them are his kids. It only makes sense. It's common sense. Anyways, folks, what Maury Povich has? Maury Povich says to everything. It's like fucking the Kevin Bacon shit or whatnot, right? Whatever the hell that shit is. But anyways, folks, Cyberneticshark killed it on the first part of Infinity War. I'm here to wrap up in part 2 where we left off, essentially, right? Was where Thor is on his way to Nivellir with Groot and Rocket to get his Thanos killing weapon, right? Team Steve is in Wakanda to basically to protect the Mind Stone, right? Vision is injured from being attacked by the Dark Order, and right, they're in Wakanda. And Ceres trying to remove the Mind Stone from Vision, scientifically or whatnot, surgically, while keeping him alive, right? And they're holed up in Wakanda, Team Steve, and basically, we have Thanos torturing Nebula to sweep the location out of Gamora, of the Soul Stone, which is on Vormir. We find out a remote barren planet at the very center of celestial space, of celestial existence within the universe. And we get the Guardians basically, having their brief encounter with Tony, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange before they reach Titan together. Which is Thanos' home planet, right? So that's sort of where we're at. And that will be our initial segment of the review, essentially, right? And so basically, at that point right there, I just want to go ahead and ask Cyberneticshark, Sir, then you, Andres, the pop culture guy, where are you at with the film right now? Like, what I'm saying? What are your thoughts going in before I move farther to that point, right? What do you want to pick out of the film that we didn't talk about or mention in the first part of the review? And what at all, and where our current state is at with all of our different main characters, heading where they're going, or posting up on Titan, the Thor and Rocket, on their way to Nebula deal, right? Our Team Steve being in Wakanda. Cyber, thoughts, sir?
Well, I mean, at this point, it's just getting better and better into the movie. This is when we really start to get into a lot of the action. And, I mean, to go over anything that I didn't mention in the previous part, I have nothing on that. But definitely going into this, I mean, this is when it really starts to get heated and it really starts to get really good. I mean, how we ended it, with the death of Ma, we going into, some of the best parts of this film, except for I'm very loose on the ending, how I feel about it. But overall, going into this, going from here, all the action in this next hour of the film is so freaking awesome. So we're going into a really fun part here, and we got a lot of great fun to go over.
What about your theater experience, Cyber? Your first theater experience with Infinity War. Is there anything you want to relate? I know we've always tried to kind of touch on that whenever we've done these reviews, right? I think it's always kind of come up in conversation. We didn't really mention it much in the last review. I just wanted to bring it up now. Do you remember what can you give us out of your initial Infinity War experience in the theaters, and how many times did you see it in theaters?
What I see this one? I think I saw this one twice in theaters. Maybe three. No, twice. I think it was twice. I mean, it was pretty packed. I was sitting there watching it, just taking in all the stuff, and I mean, I wasn't like stuff like that or anything. I was just hanging back, sitting back, watching it play out. Waiting for the action to get going, and I enjoyed it my first time around. I went through it basically, already knowing that they killed off a whole bunch of Avengers. So that I was kind of perturbed about when I found that out when I went to see it the first time. And so, I mean, this film compared to Endgame, to me, it was kind of that catalyst. You're like, okay, I kind of hate this movie, but at the same time, I love it because of what they decided to do. So my first initial theater experience, I was kind of like sitting there going, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm liking it, but I already know what's going to happen, and I'm kind of pissed. So that was kind of my first experience with it.
I feed off the energy, I'm realizing now. Like, that's why I like live music so much and live concerts so much, I think, Cyber, Andres, is because I feed off the energy of the people on the shows and the bands and whatnot, and everything, right? The personal aspect of it, the social aspect of whatnot, everything. I enjoy it. And the energy in the theaters, seeing Infinity War was electric. I don't think any of us, folks, honestly, I already know with Cyber, I'm pretty sure with Andres, none of us are the guy in the reaction video or whatever or whatnot, or the chick that's out there that's in there like during Infinity War or Endgame fucking screaming or like losing our shit or whatever, whatnot, and everything, and like screaming like little girls and shit. Like I've heard some dudes scream like in some of them like theater reaction deals, right? You hear men like screaming like little girls and shit, whatnot, during like the end of Endgame, the final battle and shit, and whatnot, and all this shit like Grogu, right? We don't do any of that shit. I cried during Endgame a little bit, like when Tony died, right? But that's about it. I didn't cry other than that. I didn't cry when Black Widow died. Andres, what are your thoughts, sir, on where we're at currently in the film? Mr. Time Cop, sir. And then also, if you would like to give us your theater experience with Infinity War, sir.
Oh no. I mean, my theater experience with I only saw it the one time. It was very respectful. I don't think there was too many fanboys in my theater, so it was pretty good. When the audience got on page with the moments, they were on page with moments. Good. Yeah, I agree with Cyber here. I mean, this is like the repping up speed of the big climax of battle.
Yeah,
the Wakanda battle, the Titan battle, and of course Thor, building his Stormbreaker, then
gotta be right. So I mean, it's got to be one of the longest battle battle scene, extended battle scenes probably of all time.
No. I mean, there's other extended battle scenes. I mean, Lord of the Rings and Age of Ultron was kind of like that. Like it was very extended battle. So this was just. I mean, the first two Avengers had these extended battles, so this was nothing new for me. It was just what I like about it, like compared to
the battle in New York. It's like what 40 minutes long.
Yeah, something like that. And then Age of Ultron, like it's maybe a bit less, but what I appreciate about Infinity War was I appreciate that the battles were very unique and different than the first two Avengers films. Like I loved that we got our heroes versus our main villain, and then you got your other half where you got the other Avengers facing out these faceless army, which is the typical norm of the Avengers films. And I like how like variety it was, and plus we got a subplot. See Thor. I'm sorry, Thor get his
Can you imagine, Simon? Can you imagine if he caught some dirty herp or some shit, or whatnot, when he was banging Vice President Angela Bassett, and he got demoted to like the time prison or whatever or some shit. He got picked up by the TVA.
Yeah, no. Excuse me. I am married to Angela Bassett, and you say this in the private chat, by the way, folks. It's disrespectful.
How do you even know Angela Bassett likes white guys, Andres? You know Angela personally?
Yeah, I know. First, I mean, you don't know this is the actual Angela Bassett of this timeline.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, think about that. So, this is a different Angela Bassett that I know. But she's hot and gorgeous, and
like Rick and Morty, there could be like Nazi versions of Angela Bassett and everything.
Nazi version. That's a good one. Oh, stop, please. Okay, what? Angela Bassett stated that she's a low you. F you.
Your D's got to be has to fall in a certain range, lengthwise, whatnot.
Hell no. So anyway, get back to it. So I
up with that one, Condon D.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, if she's in love with Chadwick Boseman, I will not refuse that because Chadwick Boseman, handsome man, great body. Great
yeah, Chadwick Boseman was a very attractive man. I'm sure I'm pretty sure that he wasn't married or anything like that. Whatnot when he died, I'm sure he did well when he went out on his own and whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure he did okay with ladies of all colors.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He dressed well too. Every time I saw him on interviews and whatnot, I don't mean to cut you off, Andres, but he was a good dresser.
Oh yeah, he was great. He's a great dresser. I very sad he's not with us. And just last thing to wrap up. Zoe Saldana. This is where the movie I really appreciate was the Gamora and Thanos development, which was great because we built this notion of the father-daughter thing with the Guardians films, and so seeing it, being paid off in this film was really great. So, and these are the best scenes for me. This is where Josh Brolin really shines as Thanos, as this villain, and I think this is the part I really like about this film. So overall, this sequence is really fun because it's wrapping up everything to the big climax we're going to get into.
kind of like the climax that Chadwick gets with Angela Bassett the first time that they hang out, right? But
wait. You know what's weird? I don't know why we do that because it's weird because she's the mom of Black Panther.
Cyber, my friend. Do you think it's do you think it's ludicrous that I still contend that I think that Josh Brolin should have been nominated for a best secondary actor or whatever, you know, whatever how you call it, the Oscar for his role in Thanos?
Supporting actor.
Yes. You don't think that contention or that is you think that's a logical contention that's reasonable, that he should have at least been looked at?
Well, yes. I mean, for his performance, you know, physically, yes. But because he was CGI'd, you know, they're not going to look at that because they don't believe in nominating CGI characters for, you know, supporting or lead actor roles. That's just not what they nominate. Just kind of like they don't really nominate comedy films or sci-fi films, you know. That's why, if you notice, most of these Avenger films, like Black Panther 1 was the first film that was considered a Marvel film that was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh,
so
God.
it's very hard. It's very hard for that field. So I'm not shocked he wasn't nominated, but he definitely deserved the credit for how good he did.
What do you think, Andres?
Yeah, I'm with the same boat with Cyber. It's really hard for like these superhero performers to get nominated. Like it's only been 3 that, or actually 5, like examples that been nominated, and then we got 2 that win. You know, obviously Dick Tracy, you know, Al Pacino's villain role was nominated. Willie Hart's role in History of Violence was a comic book performance, got nominated, but then Heath Ledger, you know, The Dark Knight, you know, he won, but you know that was for, you know, eponymous award, you know.
Yeah, it was yes, you're right.
Yeah, and then it was dead quiet until like 2018, 2019. Like Black Panther, out of all the actors I think should have been nominated was yes, Chadwick Boseman, but also Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. I felt he should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but unfortunately didn't. And then next year, you know, Joker was a huge awards, you know, nomination. I mean, 12, I think it got nominated, and the fact that Joaquin won for Best Actor was incredible. I was happy because I mean, I love Joaquin as an actor. Yeah, and then, you know, recently we got Angela Bassett be nominated for, you know, Wakanda Forever, which I wish she won that award.
Did she actually get nominated? You got to be fucking kidding me. Anyways,
yes. How we're not going to get into this anyway.
So, bottom line, where we're at, Cyber pretty much called it. Where we're at is right at the launching point where we get the really big extended sort of dual battle scenes. You know, fighting against Thanos, basically, right, to stop him from being able to perform what ends up being his snap. And so, basically, to go into like our next round of questions for you guys, we've got, you know, basically Thor and Rocket, you know, before they meet Eitri the dwarf, we end up with Thanos and Gamora reaching Boromir and running into Red Skull, who of course is not, you know, acted by or whatever, or represented by the actor that played him in the first Captain America film. It's actually a guy that I believe is from the area I live in over in Southwest Florida. He's been in The Walking Dead before. Ross, I forget his last name. I'll pull him up right now. But
yeah,
he did the voice, I believe, of Red Skull and whatnot, and everything in the What If series as well.
yes, he did.
Did he?
Yeah,
Andre?
yeah, yes, he did. He voiced him and What If. Was it in the Captain Carter one?
Yeah, his name is like Ross. Here I have it right here.
Yeah,
it's
um,
because this is gonna drive me crazy. Ross Marquand. voices Johann Schmidt, Red Skull, the Stonekeeper, and former Nazi commander of Hydra during World War II. So replacing Hugo Weaving. So we run into him. I remember in the theater, that was a big thing that like shook everybody and whatnot, seeing Red Skull again. They did a great job, I thought, with the way he looked visually, sort of like almost like ghost-like. And I love the I don't know about you guys, but I love the dialogue between Thanos and Red Skull, right? And Gamora jumping in there too, versus like Widow and Hawkeye in Endgame, where they really don't fuck with Red Skull. They're like, fuck this. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of figured things out on their own. They don't really have much of a dialogue with Red Skull. Just a little nugget there. But basically, of course, we get Thanos, tossing Gamora off the fucking cliff, which obviously, like, upset a lot of people in the first seeing the movie when it first came out. Losing Gamora was huge. And that was like our first real big death, right? So, of course, it was like a big blow. And really well acted by Zoe Saldana, I thought. Andres makes a good point bringing her up. She's really good in those scenes. And I'm glad they gave us that payoff as well, Andres. So we get Thor and Rocket meeting on, Eitri the dwarf, where, he sort of is pissed off at Thor for nobody defending, Nidavellir, right? When Thanos comes and like basically kills all the rest of his like, kin or whatever, whatnot, and leaves him like, like mangled and shit and whatnot and all that. It ends up, being a situation where Thor basically and Rocket, even though Groot's with them, he doesn't really jump in at this point. They have to restart the star that is like the heart of the forge, where they make the dwarves make these weapons like Stormbreaker, like Thor's first hammer, Mjolnir. But their first attempt doesn't work. So Thor tells Eitri, I'll just hold the eye open or whatever, whatnot, and everything to get, so I can get the this axe, get this, this new hammer, right? In Wakanda, it's about to be like fucking Battle of Wakanda time, right? Bruce is in the Hulkbuster. We get that great shot of T'Challa with Steve and Natasha, and White Wolf and whatnot and everything in that like hover craft carrier heading to like fight, heading to the shield, the force field, whatnot, and everything to take on Thanos' forces and like what's left of the Dark Order, right? Because as Cyber already said, we lost Ebony Maw, right? So we've got Corvus Glade still left, and we've got Proxima Midnight, and then whatever the fuck, I forgot who the other what is the other one? It's not yeah, you got Corvus Glade, and then you got Call Obsidian is still alive, right? So we lost the Maw. So basically, pre-Battle of Wakanda, we see basically our whole lineup on Team Steve kind of ready to rock and roll. Basically, Umbatu shows up with his guerrilla warriors and shit and whatnot to throw down, right? And the famous, Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, opening the shield, right? Because Thanos' forces in the Dark Order brought fucking cannon fodder, more alien fucking like creatures and shit and whatnot to like as their army to fight the Avengers and like fight the Wakandan like forces and whatnot. So we get like what I think is probably like one of the best scenes in MCU history of Chadwick doing his fucking cross, right? And the classic scene of it, of him Wakanda forevering that's the best Wakanda forever ever. Like nobody's ever gonna be able to say Wakanda forever is fucking dope as Chadwick. That motherfucker could say he could fucking like drop that shit. That shit is iconic. That scene, watching him and Steve run down that field, right, and like race each other almost. I remember the anticipation in the theater when that shit built up and whatnot was fucking insane. But so that's like basically, we're into the Battle of Wakanda at that point, right? Vision is still with Shuri, who needs more time to, remove the stone from Vision still. So we head back to essentially, you know, Devon Lear, where Thor takes the full force of the, you know, of the star or whatever, whatnot, to obtain his new weapon. Groot helps him out, you know, it helps Eitri out. Eitri calls him Tree. I love whatever what they call it when he gets called Tree. Groot helps out by creating the handle of Stormbreaker, and Thor basically looks like he's dead when he like rolls off that eye shit, whatever, when he takes the brunt of that star or whatever the hell, or whatever the hell that is. But we then get the, you know, the fucking the, and I'll stop here and go to you guys. We get the again the epic Thor Rocket Groot enter Battle of Wakanda scene. That, like, you know, you could go on YouTube and look at like the reaction videos just on that, and they're in the millions, right, of people just reacting to that shit. So Andres, I'll go to you first. Your take on where we're at on the film so far, sir. The death of Gamora, right? The first Gamora, you know, at this point. And then of course, you know, ending with entrance of Thor, right? With Rocket and Groot, right? And, you know, and him having the Bifrost again through Stormbreaker and entering into Battle of Wakanda.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, this is the best moment ever. The Wakanda rival thing was the, like, when you say three meet Thanos is like the like WTF moment. To see him like so ready to kill Thanos is like one of those best things. And seeing Rocket and Groot now on Earth and then like helping out is like incredible. Oh my god, that scene was so great. Like the build up of, you know, Thor, you know, going to ride Wakanda was so brilliant. You know, you see him, you know, holding the star and then dropping down to the, you know, to the area, and then, you know, Peter Dinklage character had to, you know, need to find like a handler for, you know, the axe and the, you know, the Bifrost thing, whatever. And it was cool to see Groot, you know, like Groot paying attention. And I love the fact that it's actually Groot's hand that, like, is the one that's holding that together, which is really cool. And that when you see it lifted up and you see the electricity coming out in Thor's hand, like, you know, you're gonna, like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. And I just love that. And the score by actually, you know, quickly, you know, I want to bring up Alan Silvestri, the composer of this film. He composed the first film, and he's created the iconic Avengers theme, which we all love. And I was so happy he came back because he didn't do Age of Ultron. That was Brian Taylor of, you know, the Fast and Furious, and he did some of the Marvel scores like Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World. I like his Iron Man 3 score. That's really great. And Danny Elfman also helped out in Age of Ultron. Love Alan Silvestri's score in this film. It's one of the best, I think, MCU soundtracks for this film. And the score with Thor arriving was just incredible. And I think that really hit home that moment, which is great. Now, the Gamora death. I like the death. I think it makes sense where we're going to take her character. You know, when we get to Endgame, I didn't like that we brought back Gamora from a different timeline. But, you know, obviously, I feel like God did something great for her in Volume 3. I echo. Let me check this. But anyway, so I thought that the build up to Gamora's death was really great. You know, because of, you know, Josh Brolin's performance, you know, because she thought initially he didn't care about her, you know, and then the realization that he did care about Gamora, you know, like, yeah, he is a cold, stubborn alien, but like he had some compassion towards Gamora, so like it was really unexpected. And you know, speaking of Red Skull, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, Red Skull. You know, it was a huge deal because forever, you know, like Red Skull is the most important Marvel villain in history, and it was always annoying from what, like 9 years top from since the Phase 1 that we just never able to get Red Skull in a movie. It was really nice and great to see him again, and I thought that what they did with him here was really great. And I didn't like what we did with Black Widow and Hawkeye and Venom. Like it was so lazy. Like that scene in Endgame was so lazy. Like in terms of like the score from Anniversary was the same one from this movie, and that really pissed me off. They tried to like yeah yeah well lucky they didn't like that was the thing like what he got killed off or not, that was the thing. Like I didn't know he survived the first film, so it was good that he survived, which is great, and he is a good villain. I love him. So I thought that it was really great. So overall, I think I accept Gamora's death. I thought it was a great emotional like kick for our certain characters like Star-Lord. I think this sets up Star-Lord great in the next future films, in Guardians Volume 3. So I think this was a good pivot to that. And I think Gunn did a good job of using Gamora after this movie, because he didn't know that she was going to die. So he knew this, I think, afterwards. And so I think he did a good job of handling the aftermath of her death. So overall, I really like these are the two what if, like this is the OMG moments of this film. It's like, oh my god, Gamora's is dead, and then Thor arriving in the Wakanda is badass. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And Red Skull coming back is great.
Cyberneticshark, sir. We're going from ending with the entrance of Thor into the Battle of Wakanda, and then starting off with the scene with Gamora and Thanos meeting Red Skull on Vormir.
So we have that kind of confrontation on Thanos' ship with Gamora, and she throws, of course, the food he gives her against his throne chair, and they have that kind of conversation. It's like, I've never agreed with it, always hated it, I hate this ship, I hate everything. And you kind of get that old Gamora feel from the first Guardians film. And so that's the one thing I will have to give Zoe Saldana credit for, is I really found her irritating the first Guardians. I found her less irritating in Guardians 2, but this movie changed my whole concept of her. I loved where she went and how she became a woman finally in this film. And it felt nice. It felt good. I actually felt like I had sympathy for her finally. And so this whole scene really starts to help see that, especially like the scene when she's explaining why is there echoing so bad.
Oh, I don't know. Let me check the echo cancellation. I don't hear it.
We keep having.
It's on. You hear an echo? Andrews, you hear echo? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, we don't hear it. When we talk, we hear it. Reason it's weird.
Well, you're hearing an echo when you talk?
Yes, when I talk.
Andres, how about you, brother?
It was happening to him too when he was talking.
You're muted, Andres. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
You still hear it?
Now I hear my echo.
You hear an echo?
Yeah. Hold on. It's weird.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm working fine. It's weird.
Because everything's on our end, so we don't know why it's echoing. But anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was fantastic. I love that scene, or and basically he ends up taking her to what's her face, Karen Gillian, aka Nebula, and he's torturing her to get the information on her about where the Soul Stone is. Yeah, now it's gone.
Yeah.
And so we get that great scene, and it shows her being pulled apart, which I thought was CGI'd very well. I mean, that looked so real, like she was really a part of all those pieces, and I thought they did a really good job there. And basically, he keeps doing it, and then finally Gamora gives in. It's on Vormir. And they end up going to Vormir and seeing Red Skull, of course, And it was funny seeing Red Skull there after all this time since Captain America 1, which came out in 2011, and nobody knew what happened to him. We know that the cube sucked him up, but we don't know where he went. So it was interesting to see him on Vormir, and it just was like funny. It was kind of funny seeing him there. And then the fact that Hugo Weaving didn't reprise the role, I was a little sad that he didn't reprise the role because he was fantastic as Red Skull. And so I thought the guy that they had do it didn't do too bad. He sounded very similar to Hugo Weaving, so I have to give the guy props for sounding pretty close. But that whole scene was really interesting. You have to give a soul to get a soul, stone. And, that's one thing that always threw me off in Endgame is how the fuck do they return the soul stone after they take it? Because you have to give a soul to get the stone. So how the hell do you give it back?
And the stone always emerges like out of that dream state, right?
Yeah.
With the person that like loses the person, right? Or whatever, or gives the life, they wake up in the water or whatever and all that shit. So how do you then fucking bring it back?
Yeah, exactly. So that always like threw me off. So, when, he has to sacrifice Gamora, we have that kind of like Thanos crying sequence there. And, he's like, and she's like, oh, what, tears for who? And she's like, Red Skull's like, they're not for him, they're for you. And she just kind of, cracks up a little bit there, and she tries to kill herself, and he stops it before she can, and then throws her off, and you're just like, what am I watching here? Are you serious? They just kill Gamora? I'm like, what? And I was like, I'm like, they tried to humanize Thanos a lot in this movie. They did that very successfully. They made him seem very humanized, like all this had good intentions and stuff like that. And just thinking about this, if you were to think about that in reality, somebody decides, I want to kill half the population. No, sorry. That's not right. Just because you have too many people doesn't mean just go kill half the population. So, that kind of thought process with Thanos there cracked me up throughout this whole film, kind of humanizing him. But once again, not deterring on Brolin's performance. He did a really fantastic job, like I said. But, after the Vormir scene where he gets the Soul Stone, and this is the first time seeing the Soul Stone because we heard about it through other films, but we hadn't seen it. We only got it the one time. We saw it one other time in Endgame, and that's it. And we didn't get much from it. So it's kind of like, I feel the Soul Stone was put off to the side, and all of a sudden they're like, oh crap, Thanos has to use the Soul Stone in order to be able to flip the people. So it's like, oh, we're gonna throw it in here. It felt like an afterthought, the Soul Stone, because they didn't give it any prerequisites and didn't give it any pre-game. I mean, because if you think about it, the first Avengers film had the cube. We saw the cube several times. We saw the Tesseract several times before this film. We saw the ether, the Power Stone, and it's kind of like, wow, they gave very little to the Soul Stone, which is probably one of the most, if you think about it, one of the greatest stones, because it can give a life, it can bring people back and so forth and stuff like that. So it kind of cracks me up that the Soul Stone was just thrown in and it was done with. So that whole sequence, even though it was really enlightening, it was interesting and it was fun, I still feel like it kind of sucked because the Soul Stone didn't get enough credit for what it needed to be to kind of encompass all the other stones.
I thought it was well constructed as well. How they portrayed that place that Thanos ended up at, right where he got the stone, that with the pink air, the pink horizon, and all that shit and whatnot. I thought that was really well done.
Yep, that was very very well done. Yes, it was very artsy, I felt. And so, basically then after he gets the Soul Stone, that's when we go back to Cap. And we see what's going on in Wakanda. They arrive in Wakanda. They start to work on Vision. Basically we get kind of the introduction back to Bucky, the White Wolf. He gets a new Wakandan armor arm, which was freaking badass as hell. I was like, this is so freaking cool. Like, I wish Bucky had that arm from the get-go. That was just like such a cool arm. And I was like, that's gonna be cool in battle. And so, we get that, the battle's coming, basically, King T'Challa tells him, the battle's coming and he's got to get ready. And they're basically, they knew that a battle's coming. So they're all getting prepared there in Wakanda. They're trying to get the Mind Stone out of Vision's head because there's enough of Vision there, they feel, that he can operate on his own without the Mind Stone. So we get that kind of great little foyer there going on. Then, of course, we go back to Thor and Rocket and Groot over at Nivellir, basically to get a Thanos killing, axe. And we're introduced, of course, to Peter Dinklage's character. What was his name? King
Eitri.
King Eitri, who is a giant dwarf. Who they all it used to be a lot of giant dwarfs there that worked at Nivellir and created all these magical weapons that were considered the most powerful in the universe. And unfortunately, Thanos, when wanted his gauntlet made, he killed everyone except for him, and then froze his hands in. Was it antiman? Not antiman. Was it vibranium that his hands were covered in?
No, it was I have to look it up real quick. The substance that they use to make the like the Stormbreaker and Thor's hammer Mology or whatnot.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's a special element. It's not vibranium. It's not adamantinium or whatever, anything like that. Whatnot.
So it's something more magical. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's something that you would only find in the Thor 9 Realms bullshit.
Okay. So basically, his hands are covered in this special metal that they use to make these special weapons that are part of kind of the Thor universe. And so he's there. He's like to, ask him to make him a Stormbreaker. And, basically Edith, tells him that Stormbreaker would be the perfect weapon to destroy Thanos. So they basically say, yeah, I'll make it for you, but the star's dead. We don't have no power. And so Thor's like, okay, well, I'll fix that. And so they go and they basically break off the ice off the machine, the world itself. And then they have to basically get the starter to re-energize to melt the metal. And so Thor has to keep open the hatch by himself to do that. And so he ends up doing that. And in the process, it seems like he's almost dead again, as we've seen Thor several times now throughout the Thor films and Avenger films. And so basically, after he comes flying back down and pretty much dead, he before that, Groot takes a part of his arm, puts it down to create a handle for Stormbreaker. And so, but once Thor gets next to it, all of a sudden his powers start creating, and it's bringing him back to life. So that then after that, then we go back to Wakanda, and as they're still working on Vision, that's when we start that great epic battle that we have. And that's when all the rest of Thanos' children that are still around. Jesus Christ, that was loud. When basically the rest of the Thanos' children come down and their ships in front of Wakanda, where the giant barrier is, and they start sending out their minions, and they start trying to attack the shield. And they're getting killed and stuff and trying to get through, and they're zapping and getting hacked, and everyone is outside ready. Cap's got new shields that he can use that are Wakandan. And, of course, Hulk or Bruce Banner is in the Hulkbuster suit to help fight. And they left, Scarlet Witch up top with Vision while Shuri's still working on him. And so all of a sudden the battle begins, and they start to break through. And when basically they start to surround the whole entire area, basically that's when T'Challa is like, open the seal and let them in, and we'll take them on, basically take them on. And so we have this great epic battle going on, and we get a whole bunch of the aliens being, kicked and stuff like that. A lot of the Avengers getting their butt kicked a little bit. We see, Hulkbuster in action a little bit. We see, Black Widow and Okoye in action. We see Black Panther in action, Cap in action. We just see a whole bunch of action. And while that's going on, that's when they go back up to Vision, and Vision's up there still doing the process with Siri, and Scarlet Witch looks down and notices some of her fellow female Avengers are in danger, and decides to go and join the battle. And she comes down and uses a couple of those machines that they have fly up underneath and kills a bunch of the aliens. And basically, that's when Vision is now vulnerable, and what's his name? Not Corvus Clave, the other one.
Midnight? Proxima Midnight?
No, not Proxima Midnight. She's down. Her brother, the other guy that goes up.
Corvus Clave.
Yeah, Corvus Clave. Thank you. Corvus Clave. He pops up. Imagine if Gora's big secret with Quill was, I know where White Vision's penis is.
Could you imagine that scene if she said that?
Oh my god.
The big secret is, I know where the White Vision's penis is.
There you go, folks, right there.
Mephisto has it.
That's true knowledge. That's true knowledge right there. Thinking this shit out.
Mephisto has that bitch.
Yep. And we get Corvus Clave go up there and start trying to kill Vision or get the Mind Stone from Vision. And Suri and the guards up there start trying to fight him. And then as they're fighting him, Vision, basically ends up, stopping him, pushing him out the window and stuff. And they have kind of a slow fight, a little bit of fight. And as Proxima Midnight and the girls are fighting and stuff like that, that's when we get that kind of like little scene there. They're like, she's not alone, Black Widow says. And they're fighting them, and they're kind of getting their butts kicked a little bit, and then all of a sudden, Scarlet Witch, after being kicked and hit and stuff like that by Pregnant, she uses her powers and throws her up, and one of the machines comes boom and splashing her all over the place, and Black Widow gets some of her blood on her, and she's like, ew, which was really funny. And that's when we go back to Vision and Corvus Clave, and they're fighting. Cap makes his way over and starts going after him to save Vision. And, they fight out a little bit and basically end up stopping Corvus Clave and killing him after they're fighting and stuff like that. And then that's when we go back to that's when we go over to Tony and his team on Titan. And basically that's when we have the start of that epic battle. So you said go to Thor coming to the
that's before the Thanos versus Team Tony battle. I'm talking about when he first drops into the Battle of Wakanda with Stormbreaker.
Okay. So basically that's it. Yeah. So we get Thor coming in, and he throws out Stormbreaker and kills a whole bunch of things and kicks ass. So there we go. My thoughts. That's my thoughts on it. Great stuff. Great leading up to that Tony ass fight. Really awesome. Love the action in that sequence.
That's right, folks. And we love the action of the Special Olympics. That's why we're supporting the Special Olympics in 2024. As we stated right here at the bottom of the screen, we're supporting the Special Olympics, baby. So no donations or nothing like that and whatnot. And we're working to hammer out the deal right now. Of course, we've seen the video of the guy from the Special Olympic Avengers, the karate ninja guy. Oh shit!
Judy Chop.
Judy Chop. I can wear my fucking Judy Chop t-shirt again. Oh my god, I love it. Judy Chop, baby. What up? What up, Raven?
Stop, Ramon.
What up, Raven? Boots and chill.
Raven?
Raven, you could have been on this review, bitch. If you weren't too busy drinking booze, motherfucker. Where's White Vision's penis, yo? Anyways,
Time Cop. It's Raymond, not Ramon.
For real. What? For real. Poor Raymond. Everyone always calls him misspells his name, calls him different names and shit and whatnot. And he still gives us a super likes and shit and whatnot. I don't know, Raymond. I don't know if we deserve it.
He needs a nickname for like,
it's like I said in the chat earlier. People wonder why I drink so much. It's Andre's fucking time cop dimension, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It caused me to drink.
No, that's him. He's having a drinking problem.
I was telling my therapist the other day about how Andre exasperates my alcoholism.
No. Jeff is having the alcoholism because of his love.
Oh, I have alcoholism now?
Yes, yes. You have alcoholism because of your love of Brie Larson.
For Brie? Well, after the Marvels, I'm feeling Captain Brie. I'm telling you right now. And William from Geek All the Podcast put up a TikTok video with Captain Brie and a picture that looked damn good. And I opined that Captain Brie looks fucking good in that picture. I'm like, damn. Captain Brie looks fucking like smoking like fire, baby. Like, holy shit. I never said Captain Brie wasn't attractive. She's fucking attractive as fuck. Right? Like, seriously. I never said she wasn't. She's just really fucking irritating as fuck, too. And, like, not somebody I would want to fuck with on, like, a relationship level. But I would definitely hit that shit. Right? But she would have to fucking cosplay the shit, though. Like, wear her Captain Marvel uniform. Because I love that outfit. I love the color scheme of it. So she'd have to wear that shit so I could take it off. I don't know if Captain Brie would let me do that, though, Cyber. That would probably be too, like, masculine, right, to let me do that. So she'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm getting in my Prius and I'm leaving, Jeff. True knowledge. Me and my Prius are out. Anyways, Raymond's lighting up the comment section. What's up, Raymond? Booze and chill, baby. What's up? I have my own personal booze and chill right here. I promise, Raymond. So what do you guys think, Cyber? What are your thoughts on the Russo brothers in this film and the writing in this film, right? By let me go ahead and just ring them out real quick and whatnot, everything. By McFeely and Marcus, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. What are your thoughts on how they did with Infinity War? This Infinity War, not Endgame.
Their writing is stupendous. Their writing is fantastic. I love it. They did a really good job. I mean, the Russos are amazing. I mean, with Captain America and Winter Soldier, I knew from that get-go that these guys were amazing directors, and I knew that they would kick ass directing any film they did. And so when I found out that they were directing this, I was ecstatic as shit because of how good Civil War and how good Captain America Winter Soldier was, and really fantastically done. And I mean, Stephen McFeely and the what was the other guy's name? Marcus,
Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely.
Yeah, Marcus and Feely. They are amazing, talented writers, and I think they should have kept them on as writers for majority of the films, because that's one of the reasons I think probably a lot of the films sucked this last couple, the last phases, because they weren't writing them anymore, and they were amazing at writing. I mean, they were the majority writers of most of these films that came out throughout the space of Infinity Wars. So the Infinity Saga. And so they kicked ass, and they were amazing writers. And I've seen them write other things other than Marvel, and they rock those too. So, I mean, these guys are great writers. They know what they're talking about. They know what to do. And yeah, I think they did an excellent job.
Andre's a pop culture guy, sir. Same question.
Yeah. I thought that this team were perfect. I mean, after Civil War, I was like, okay, I think they're the perfect choice. I have no problem. And I think the writing here is splendid. But, well, first off, they did a really good job. The thing that's been a problem with Phase 4 is just there hasn't been any communication with other creators from the multiple franchise. In Infinity War, the writers had, communication with, Taika Waititi, James Gunn, about the characters that, they were grabbing. And so, like, you can feel the sense of consistent with, these characters like Guardians. Like, I feel like the Guardians, like, are like James Gunn writing. Like, you don't notice that because of, this is different writers. And I thought whatever they did is pretty good. I think the Russo Brothers are great directors. I think what they did with this film is incredible. So I think they were the right choice. So there's not much to say about these guys. I think, but like in terms of favorite directors, I think, there's other MCU directors I like more, but the Russo Brothers are top notch, and I think they delivered the package well.
Andres, that you should have given them that digital that audio effect you just gave us and whatnot with that scratching where it sounded like we were in a fucking like time warp or some shit there for a minute.
Funny, independent people.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. Let's get this started.
Oh, we're actually live. I just figured I would fuck around for a minute and whatnot and just leave you guys let you talk.
Good. So,
Hey,
folks.
No, I'm actually gonna play the intro, folks. Don't worry. I just wanted to let Andres wax philosophical real quick, and all that.
No, we don't need intro.
Episode 3 to review for y'all of that.
No. How about this? Episode 3 is great.
Andres, why don't you sing an intro for us? Sing us the Star Wars intro. There you go, folks. That's one of Andres, the pop culture guys, all-star moments.
No.
Where were you, Cyber? I can't believe you actually missed one of the fucking was that one of the Ahsoka reviews? I think.
I mean, with that ending, it looked like it was, but I have no idea.
Yeah, that was an Ahsoka review. I could. What the fuck's going on with my camera now?
Because
Andres, it's you, motherfucker.
Yep.
You did it.
No.
Yep, he's doing it.
No. Cybers. Be with my side. Come on. Why are you signing this?
Never. I'm on my own side.
Own side. All right, I respect that.
Yeah, I don't know where you were at, Cyber. I forgot. I didn't think. No, it doesn't matter. But I didn't realize you even missed any of the Ahsoka reviews.
I think it came later. I think that because we started.
I have no idea.
I mean, I missed that one because I was locked out of my hotel room. Remember that one time?
Yep.
Yeah, we remember that.
That fucking sucked. That was a shitty night.
Yeah, I have no idea what. I don't know if I came in later there at that episode or what, but I've still got
to write a review on that fucking hotel, man. Can you believe that I fucking paid for 4 nights on that at that place? I didn't even want to pay for 4 nights. I only wanted to pay for a night, but it was just bullshit with them. Mm-hmm. I only stayed for a night, and they would not refund my money for the other 3 nights. I didn't even stay there. My AC broke in the room the day I took off. There was no one in the office for me to tell them that I was leaving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a joke, dude. What a joke. Locked out of my fucking room for an hour and a half because I couldn't find anybody to get me back in my room. Who the fuck? What hotel closes their office at 10 o'clock at night?
Shitty ones.
That was some fucked up shit, man. I'm telling you right now, I was pissed off at those people. We got into it the next day. Anyways, though, no, but that was one of Andres' Hall of Fame moments. Believe me, there's plenty more coming from because I'm working on them for our 6-month anniversary at the end of the year. For the Bleeding Edge report, our 6th anniversary.
You know what's my favorite moment? I think is me cursing. That should be the moment.
Oh, you're right, Cyber. I should find every time he said "fuck you" to me, or you or whatever, whatnot, and make a loop of Andre saying "fuck you" to people.
Yes, I think that is so much better than that clip from
Raymond. You're the best, man. Hey, you know what? I can tell you right now, I already know for a fact that Cyber and Andres already knowing that you're going to come on there for next Wednesday for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man 2. We're already excited that you're going to be on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. It's always good to have Raymond from Booze and Chill in the fucking house, man, on a review. I'll tell you right now. That's going to be a fun review, folks, too, just so you know, by the way. We'll be in December by then, next Wednesday, right? Cyber will be moderating before we do Endgame, and then we get into Spider-Man 2, and we'll be done with this Infinity Saga review series. Whoop! And we certainly ain't going to go back and fucking re-review goddamn Black Widow or Thor Love and Thunder or any of that shit. The hell with that. Goddamn Eternals. Fuck. Anyways, thank God for Infinity War. Thank you, Raymond. We appreciate you, brother. But no, so honestly, I thought the writing, again, what else do you really need on your resume as directors if you're the Russo brothers? And as far as writers go, I don't know what Marcus and McFeely are doing because they're a team. They sell each other as a team together. They write together. I don't know what they're doing right now currently, but when you've got on your resume Captain America: The Winter Soldier, right? Captain America: Civil War, and then fucking Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame, and you did all that, That's some serious shit, bro. Those are like the four fucking probably the top on most lists in the top 5 of most MCU, fans' top 5 MCU movie list. All 4 of them. So, like, I mean, they really killed it, man, and they fucking killed it on Infinity War. What do you think, Andre's pop culture guy, about the way that the Russo brothers were able to try to give all the different characters that were influxed into this film all in one shot together for the first time, how well he used them in terms of giving them screen time? We didn't get a lot of Falcon. We didn't get a lot of War Machine, right? We didn't. So, of course, we didn't get a lot of Wanda, right? But, how do you think? But again, that's to be expected, right? We're doing a lot of characters all being thrown together. What do you think? How well do you think that they did?
Well, actually, it was just last week when I did my rewatch. I think it depends. I feel like the ones that didn't get enough just didn't have a moment to shine. So, but with the characters you brought up, that particularly, I think the Captain America side were underdeveloped, but some of them did have their high moments, like the Team Iron Man. Like Wanda.
I agree with you. 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. If you versus the 2 different battles, yeah.
Like I think Wanda's moment of coming out from the tower is really great. I think War Machine had one of the best moments, like him like gunning out all his guns. It's like ridiculous, and he has a really funny moment with Hulk, like should I bow, and like he tricked him to like bow, and like he laughed like so. Like that was a funny trick from Roy.
Yeah, but Infinity War would have been that one time in the film where they really could have really shown us War Machine at full capacity, right?
Yeah,
this was his new armor, right? You know what I'm saying? Whatnot, right? I mean, seriously, like all we saw was that one shot of him flying over the shield and dropping those bombs and shit and whatnot and everything, and then during the battle we saw him unleashing his like rockets and shit and his guns.
Yeah. I mean, for me, he like in terms of like the War Machine action, it didn't get better after Iron Man 2, but I feel like Rhodey as a character he got better after Iron Man 3. But anyway, yeah, like and then I feel like Wilson, like Falcon, didn't get a really cool moment. Like he was just kind of there. Same thing with Bucky, but Bucky had a really funny moment with Rocket about like, should I have you? I want to get your arm, and he's like, no. And it's like, how much? Well, how much for the gun? And he's like, not for sale. And then he asks, what about the arm? And like he didn't answer, and it's like, oh. And then Rocky say like, oh, I'm gonna get that arm.
Well, that's where. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's where we're at anyway. Basically, right? We're at the point where, right, where basically, Thor enters the Battle of Wakanda, right? We get that classic bring me Thanos shit that just killed it, where he jumps up and smashes the ground and kills all them fucking alien motherfuckers. And then basically, we then get we go right into Thanos portaling onto Titan and being welcomed by Doctor Strange, where we get our secondary battle at this point. This time it's between Team Tony and the Guardians versus Thanos. And we know what happens here. We get a really, really inventive, great, very creative battle scene, right? Where, Quill's plan, I guess, that they end up with comes together. And they come really close to pulling that fucking gauntlet off, man. Right? But Quill loses it when Mantis has him under, snaps Thanos back to reality, and Thanos is able to get away and whatnot and everything, right? And teleport out of the situation, right? Where he then, of course, enters into Wakanda for the first time. In the meantime, back to Wakanda, before Thanos portals to Wakanda, we get, Wanda having to enter feeling the need to enter the fray. No one tells her to come down, but she feels the need to enter the Battle of Wakanda and take out those earth-moving weapons that Thanos' forces bring out those circular weapons and whatnot that chew up the ground and whatnot, everything, and pulverize anything in their path. She pops out, takes them bitches out with her energy, with her powers, right? And basically, at that point, we get, Steve. We get, Proxima. Proxima Midnight basically immediately, like, she's got like a mic piece in too, telling Corvus Glade, hey, the Vision's, not defended right now. He's basically alone. Corvus Glade goes in to try to take the stone from Vision. Cap shows up, saves the day. Cap and Vision take on Corvus Glade. Corvus Glade is nasty. He's strong. He holds his own against Cap, just like Proxima Midnight did in the first part of Infinity War. Right? When we get that awesome scene of fucking of Secret Avengers, Cap and Widow and Sam taking on the Dark Order motherfuckers. Proxima Midnight is just as strong as Cap. I thought Proxima Midnight, the actress that plays her, was dope in this film. Corvus Glade was dope too. Like, Corvus Glade was kicking Steve's ass hand to hand. Like, he was straight up. And if not for Vision, if he was going to kill Steve, if not for Vision spearing him with his own spear and killing him and whatnot. Vision really came through on that shit too. He did. Hats off to Vision, man, for fucking coming through like that. Like, he OG'd that shit, right? So, we also get, of course, kind of, think what you wanted it or whatever, whatnot. The aside scene of Bruce and the Hulkbuster taking on, what's his name? The other member of the Dark Order. That's, like the size of basically of like the Hulk or whatever, whatnot. As I'll call Obsidian, that lost his arm, right? He has his arm back now, but he takes him out, right, by using the Hulkbuster armor and shooting him up against the shield and whatnot and everything, up against the Force shield. At which point we then also get the really cool scene, which I love, where they didn't overdo it with the MCU bullshit, with Wanda, Natasha, and Okoye taking on Proxima Midnight. And again, that just shows you how nasty Proxima Midnight is. That, like, they can't, like, Okoye and Widow physically cannot fight her. She's overpowers them, right? If not for Wanda, Proxima would have killed him. But it's still dope. That was really dope scene. I love that scene. I love to hear what you guys' thoughts are. So we already know the outcome of what happens, basically, right? With the battle against Thanos with Tony's side. Doctor Strange ends up giving Thanos the Time Stone in order to save Tony's life, right? We get that great scene of Thanos fighting Tony and Doctor Strange, and Tony taking that, that blade that he conjured up in the gut. And then we get Thanos portaling into Wakanda. And I'll stop there, and I'll go to you, sir. Andre's the pop culture guy. So your thoughts on that part of the film right there, from Thor, from the Thor entrance to the Battle of Wakanda to Thanos now entering Wakanda, coming off defeating Team Tony on Titan.
Okay. So the Wakanda battle is really great. I mean, it's so much better than the first film's battle. More money's been put in this, so it was really great to see all the various, Wakanda warriors and the Dark Lodge and the Amaku's army as well, and the other various heroes here, in there. The one thing I want to bring up is the Hulk thing. It's so annoying about what they did with Hulk here, because there was a concept art or idea they had of, when he's in the Hulkbuster and towards when, he's getting bit with that, other Black Order soldier, he was supposed to come out from the Hulkbuster as the Hulk. That could have been a great moment in that film, and I cannot believe they didn't do that in this film. And so it pissed me off how the Russo Brothers did with the Hulk. So F you, Russo Brothers. Fuck you. My Hulk is my man, and you lure him to the I just can't believe it. I don't know what the Russo Brothers were doing. Anyway, So then we get to Titan. Really great, fight scene. Well, first off, the team getting to like stabilize Thanos, like keep him in bay, try to humanly possible get the gauntlet is really great. Like I love the fact that Star-Lord is the one that came up with the idea, which was great. And of course, we didn't talk about Strange. I think for the last part, he visited I don't know how many times of the possible outcome of Thanos, and he said it was one. So just keep in mind that. And I really like that idea because it sets up pretty well towards Endgame. So after they capture Thanos, the Team Iron Man, of course Nebula explained to them that Thanos killed Gamora and all that. Great scene by Chris Pratt. Like he really shows like his chunk of Gamora is actually dead. And I get people hate Star-Lord. Like it's not his fault. Like he just hearing news that it's like his lover is dead. Like he acted in the way that makes sense, but in a very bad way. Like he should have hit Thanos' face. Like come on. So yeah, but hey, Star-Lord, come on. He's just despite he's half human, he's still a human person. I know he's half human, half alien. Chapter volume 2. But yeah, but this was the moment, after Thanos is like out of Mantis' control, he throws the moon at them, which was really great. And this is where I really like Doctor Strange, like the seeing Doctor Strange using his various magic was so cool when it was back and forth. Him hitting this like laser beam, like almost like the dark side, like unit beams was cool. And then Thanos like propel it back to him. And then after Thanos was throwing this like black hole thing towards Doctor Strange, and he made butterflies, which was so cool. And him having those multiple arms coming out of him, like he's gonna be duplicate himself to multiple Strange. That moment made me love Doctor Strange as a character. I was like, oh my god, another WTF moment. That's another moment that people talked about. Is the Strange versus Thanos is the best battle, like best single fire, and that was really cool. And I really I always rewatch that scene. Strange versus Thanos is really great. And yeah, Thanos versus Iron Man. Like I'm a huge Iron Man fan. When he say like that's like Thanos is his curse, like you can tell that because he's been talking about that, how much Thanos has been in his head since 6 years, since 2012 of the Avengers in the proper timeline. And and apparently Thanos knows him. Now that's my one nitpick. How did Thanos know start? Like, did he knows him because of the stones, or like I don't know. That was something that was kind of interesting rewatching this. I was like, how did Thanos know start? Like at least Thanos, like at least Stark knew that because of Banner. Like
Cyber, do you have anything to say on that?
On what?
On how Thanos would have known who Tony was.
What am I hearing?
That's what Andres is asking. He's saying, how would Thanos have known who Tony was?
I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, Thanos is everywhere. We know this. We've known this since Avengers 1. And so all his lackeys are what's causing all the carmuncets to go on up to this point. So Thanos is going to hear back from these people that survived, that were part of it, to let him know what was going on. And then I'm sure Thanos goes and investigates these people and finds out everything he can about them so that he can be a formidable foe for them and to take them out and to get rid of them. So, I mean, I don't think that's hard to figure out that he would know who Tony is, just like he knows who Thanos is. It's a very easy concept that, just like any character would know by hearing through somebody else.
Okay, I like that explanation. That makes sense. But I do disagree that a little bit because here's the thing: Loki worked with him in the Avengers. I get that, but he didn't work for him afterwards. Like we never get a scene where, like, the ones that went to Earth report back to Thanos. So, like, I get that Thanos know about some of the Guardians because of there's some relevance in his army that survived from the first film. Telling him about what happened. So I just feel like well, and also Nebula. Like Nebula had information about what was going on with the Guardians and all that. Yeah, that I like what you say, Saber, but I do disagree that because there's no way Thanos knew about Tony. Because half his army didn't survive in the first film, and the Age of Ultron wasn't even connected at all with Thanos. So it has to be either the gems, like the Mind Stone, maybe, but we'll see. Anyway, it's just a nitpick. I just found it very fascinating that he'd say that he knew him. But anyway.
Do we not remember the seat he was sitting on in Guardians, overlooking the Earth?
Oh yes, the other guy? That's what they call it. Yeah,
And in Avengers 1, they
Mhm.
see him on that same throne, talking with that one dude and then talking with Loki. So hence he'd be looking down at the Earth the whole battle. So that's how I feel he would know who Tony
Yeah.
Stark is.
Oh, Cyber, you're the man. I totally forgot about that guy because it's funny. He died by Rowan, and he's like broke his neck and dropped dead. It's so funny. And
That was 2014, not 2012.
Oh yes, yeah, that is true. Yeah, Guardians 2014. Yeah. So that makes it okay. So that's fine. Thank you, Cyber. I totally forgot about the post credit scene from the Avengers.
For a fucking guy who wants to be called fucking Time Lord, you sure as fuck don't know much about time.
Excuse me. I got
Maybe you need to have a time stone attached to your forehead.
How about this? Fuck you, Jeff. Fuck you.
I know.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I know.
Anyway.
I know. I've heard it before, but it always sounds the best from you, Andres.
Oh, thank you.
Only with you is fuck you, like saying I love you from you. You know what I'm saying? With other people, it's like fuck you.
That's true. It sounds
like if
more...
Cyber said fuck you to me, it'd be like fuck you to me. Fuck you, Jeff.
Oh my god.
So with you're such a nice guy. Fuck you is like it's like coming to America. You know what I'm saying? Yes, yes. Fuck you too.
That is so true. Anyway, wrapping up, the Iron Man battle with Thanos is really great. I just love his, I love the moment when Thanos got a cut and he's like, oh, well, very nice. You got one cut out of me. And then the stabbing to his chest or rib, whatever, what we call it, was really shocking, because not to spoil the death, but it was always speculation. It was either Captain or Tony that was going to die, because Captain America died in the comic books. There was some possibility that could happen. With Tony, it could be possibly happen as well. I know he died too in the comics as well. But I really like Thanos' speech to Tony, how he hopes that everyone back home will remember him, and that's such a great speech from Thanos. And then Strange, giving the time stone, is very shocking because he said to Tony that he was gonna not let Thanos get the time stone, and it was really intriguing how he let it to spare Tony, but it shows that how Doctor Strange is a doctor. He's a healer. He's not a fighter like them. So I really dug that. There was being consistent with his character in the first Doctor Strange. Plus, it's great, from WandaVision and Doctor Strange about his decision, of letting the time stone to Thanos. So it's very refreshing from this repeated viewing. But yeah, love the sequence. Love the Doctor Strange versus Thanos moment, and everything about it is just strong.
Mr. Cyberneticshark, sir. Ending with Thanos portaling into Wakanda, starting off with the end of Thor entering the Battle of Wakanda?
So basically, I had already mentioned basically where we went with this. After Thor enters, they have that kind of funny moment where Thor's like, "You copying my beard?" And he's like, "Yeah." Captain's kind of like, "Yeah." And he's like, "This is my friend, the tree, and I am Groot." And he's like, "I am Steve Rogers," which was a hilarious moment, of course, in the film. And they're battling it out and stuff like that. And that's basically where we kind of the show's them fighting a little bit more. We get, of course, the sequence with Hulk and the Hulkbuster suit, and Bruce trying to get Hulk to come out, but he won't come out, and he's like, "I'll take care of this guy myself, you asshole." And he ends up going against what's his name, the big guy, the Hulk-like guy. And they end up battling it, and he ends up getting flown up by one of the jet things from the Hulkbuster suit and gets killed by the wonderful reflected shield, the shield around Wakanda. This is also where we get that kind of like great battle between Corvus Clave and Cap and Vision. And Vision ends up killing him. And basically that's it. Kind of we get that kind of, then it finally goes over to Tony, Doctor Strange, Spidey, the Guardians, over and Titan, and we get kind of that great epic battle sequence there, which is really fun. Them coming up with a plan. We get kind of that funny kind of moment there. It's like Mr. Lord, and he's like, "No, you can just call me Star-Lord," kind of feel. And he's like, and basically they kind of both come up with plans, and Star-Lord's kind of like, "Yeah, that plan's okay, but mine's better because yours sucks." And they basically come up with a plan. Thanos ends up popping up there. He says, "Oh, Eben Ma must have died or whatever." Basically, he says, and it's like, "Yeah." And basically they kind of battle out. This is also the sequence where we see Doctor Strange kind of like hovering and doing his like face mental thing, and he ends up saying he saw blah 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 amount of different endings how this could happen. And Tony's like, "How many did we win?" And he's like, "Only one." And they basically got to get this to work. And so during this, of course, this thing, they basically start trying to create their plan to come into effect. They start battling Thanos. We get, of course, that sequence where they kind of have captured a little bit. Mantis is on top of him, holding him kind of in a trance. They're trying to get the gauntlet off, and of course, Star-Lord's side to come over, and he's like, "My plan, my idea," and he ends up starting asking him like, "Where's Gamora?" And Nebula kind of pops up. He's like, "He came back with a soul stone," and he's like, "My Gamora," blah blah blah. And Peter, of course, gets upset and starts hitting him in the face, and of course ruins the plan there. And I loved how Mr. Time Cop over here was like, it's not his fault because he's grieving over Gamora. And I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people grieve about people dying in their life, but they don't do idiotic, stupid motherfucking things like that. Start hitting some god in the fucking face. So, I think that we can suggest that was a stupid idea. And, and so, of course, that happens, and they start having to keep battling him and stuff like that. And, of course, Thanos is using all the stones that he has in the gauntlet to, basically power this. We get to see Doctor Strange do his, like, multiple person thing and throw slices at him, the rope lines like that, which was really cool. Ends up finally Thanos kind of ends up catching him at one point, and of course Spider-Man is being utilized too. He's like going through portals and stuff like that, and hitting him and stuff like that, which was really fun. Eventually, at one point, of course, Tony starts to take him on. He basically goes full battle on him and barely scratches his face. He's like, "All that for a drop of blood." And basically Thanos like throws him around like he's like a rag doll, which is absolutely hilarious. And basically by that point, and as they're battling it, Tony's trying to use his suit. And this is kind of the funny thing. One of my nitpicks a little bit is, this is supposed to be a not a regular metal suit that Tony has created. It's a nanotechnology. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, nanotechnology, how does the fuck is this thing breaking like it is in this sequence? I don't get it. It's nanotechnology. Shouldn't it, like, keep producing metal? So I thought that was kind of fun. That kind of one of my small nitpicks. I'm like, I think that should not have happened how it happened. But of course, as he's trying to do it, he tries to make a sword, tries to stab Thanos, but Thanos breaks it off and stabs Tony in the left side of the body, if anyone noticed. And basically, he's like about to kill Tony, and Doctor Strange's like, spare his life and I'll give you the time stone. He's like, no tricks. It's like, no. And of course, Dr. Stone produces the time stone, gives it to him to save Tony's life. And Tony looks over and is like, why did you do that? And you're kind of like, you kind of think to yourself, Doctor Strange must have something behind his sleeve here. Why would he do that? When he was just saying like 20 minutes ago, he cannot have this at all. I will do whatever it takes to stop him from having the stone. So the fact that he had to give him the stone, you're like thinking, what's going on here? And then at that time, when they're talking there, and he's like, we're now in the end game, which was a hint at what the name of the next Avengers film was going to be, which I always cracked up at that. Like, a lot of people were like, what's the name going to be? And I'm like, didn't you see what Doctor Strange said towards the end of the movie, people? Endgame, we're in the endgame. It's not going to be called Endgame. No, it's going to be Infinity War Part 2. No, I don't. And I'm like, that's the name. It's going to be Endgame. And so basically he ends up getting that, and Star-Lord's about to try to attack him again, and then he disappears through a portal. And that's when, as the Vision is being helped up by Captain, he all of a sudden he gets that feeling. It's like, he's here. And that's kind of where all of a sudden he pops through the portal, and that's where we end.
There you are. There you are, sir. Perfectly well done as usual. Great contribution on the panel. You guys have been excellent so far.
Yeah. I want to bring up the tile. I hate the tile. I hate that it's not only Strange to say it, like Tony say this is the end game as well. And I was so annoyed because they were making such a big deal. Like, what was the name? Like, it was from the studio. They did it. And I was so annoying that when the trailer came out, they revealed the title. I was like, oh, okay. What was such a big deal? I like it.
Well, because they were going to make it into one film at first.
Well, initially when Phase 3 was announced, it was initially called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. They changed that.
You're right. That's what it was. It was going to be Infinity War Part 1 and 2. Then they changed it to Endgame.
Yeah, which it's fine. I mean, Endgame is a different movie from this movie, so.
That's a good question. That's a good point you made, Cyber, as far as like the nanotech suit and like why it deteriorated the way it did and exposed Tony's body. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, to where he was almost having to like shift resources, right? And like work with whatever he had, basically, with weapons and whatnot. Like, if anything, looking back now, I never thought about this before, but I would have expected him to have more left in the fucking tank, like for weapons and shit and whatnot, for offensive fighting against Thanos there at the end, right? I would have thought he would have saved the best for last, right? You know what I'm saying? And would have really brought the big guns there at the end and had like, that's what I would think Tony would do. Tony's a thinker, right? Like you could see the evolution of his fighting skills, right? And his battle skills and whatnot throughout the MCU. He gets a lot better at being Iron Man. So like, I mean, just the way he adapts himself in a hand-to-hand combat battle with an adversary like Thanos, right? With the fucking Infinity Gauntlet on, not fully charged, but like close enough. That's, I mean, honestly, in the comic books, the idea that Iron Man could even stand his ground with fucking Thanos with 5 stones on that gauntlet is not even conceivable, right? In the comics, Thanos would just annihilate Tony. He'd just fucking destroy him or spaghetti his ass like he did fucking Wolverine. Quick question, guys. I'll start with you, Cyber. I know that you don't like the whole like kill off half of all living life bullshit that they went with him, but take into consideration the difficult and deep web you'd be weaving to try to bring into the MCU the actual comic book accurate story of his relationship with Death, Lady Death, and everything and whatnot, right? And him worshiping her and whatnot, everything, and wanting to snap away, you know, everybody and whatnot, everything for her because of his like fuckboy worship for Death. You can't. I don't think they would have been able to put that together or make that work, right? With Thanos in the MCU. So considering like the tangled web that would have been weaving, do you think that at the very least what they came up with in terms of like his rationalization for wanting to do the snap was at least like feasible? It was plausible.
No, I think
No.
he is an idiot.
I don't mean like people like the humanization with him, his character worked with people or whatever, whatnot, or something like that through it. I'm saying it's at least plausible that would be his contention, his desire to like want to like go to planets and kill everybody and whatnot, everything, and balance the scales, right? Is at least logical, isn't it?
No.
Okay,
I don't
Andre,
think so.
Andres, what do you think? I think it's a plausible reason to want to do what he does.
Well, I'm with Cyber. Well, first off, they just like a lot of people have to understand the MCU always retcon things from their post credit scene, and Cyber brought up the post credit scene about the other guy, and that post credit scene from the first Avengers movie indicate they were going to do a comic book version of Thanos that did have like a death, like it was in love with death and all that. And for me, it was just like the Russo brothers were like they were afraid to do it, and so they did this thing where they changed it to be more grounded, like the very typical Batman or like this in general superhero thing of just not doing the fantastical element of the comic books, and I get it. You can change it. Like I don't mind change from villains' motivation and all that. Like Killmonger is different from the comics, so I'm fine with that. But I feel like his like comparing to Killmonger's like ideology, it doesn't make sense because he's saying that he wants to get rid of half the population, but it's like, well, yeah, but you're causing chaos and all that, and disrupting the balance, right? It's like it's not creating balance, and I feel like there's just things that is sort of plot holes for his conversation, his argument about this half of the population, and I think you could have done Death in a very unique way. Like you could easily put Death in Doctor Strange because that movie was dealing with a lot of themes of time and death, and
Yeah, but death is a celestial being.
Yeah,
isn't she of that level? Isn't she? Death is one of the is like of the same. She's of the same scale, if not bigger, than like Eternity, and like the Watcher.
Yeah, yes, but I mean, you can pull that off. I mean, we saw the Watchers. Like, I don't. For me, they were just afraid to do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't like that, and you can easily pull it off. Like, look at Gunn. Like Gunn. Like
at the time that Infinity War had come out, they had not established any of the cosmic beings except for Ego.
Yes, but we also had Captain Marvel. Well, actually, after that, my bad. But no. I disagree.
Captain Marvel doesn't rub elbows with Death and Eternity and like all them fuckers. That's not what Captain Marvel does.
No. I don't care about having Death in these movies. You could easily just introduce Death here, and that's it. Like you don't need the explanation of it.
No. I just want. I mean, I don't want to have a debate about it. I want to move on with the film. I'm just saying, overall, it's not that simple because to bring Death in, then you actually have to give her an arc, right? Like you can't just show her.
No, you don't need a character arc. Like, I mean, a lot of villains don't have motivation and all that. Like
There has
I
to be
mean,
some kind of arc for any kind of character that you bring in like that. That's that big of a deal in the MCU. There has to be some arc, some
yeah, but
back, something.
yeah, but like Black Order are here just as hitchmen. Like,
But they're henchmen. This is death.
yes, but like it's same thing with the Marvel. Like the Marvel was important in Doctor Strange, but like
All
he
right,
was
we're going to agree to disagree because like the Lady Death is at the level of Mephisto, if not bigger.
oh my god, like
See,
hold on.
you caused Cyber to
Make
be
Cyber
upset,
just
and
go.
we lost Cyber
Yeah,
because of your
well,
bullshit.
you causing me upset.
Fuck you.
Yeah, but yeah, well, you're
Fuck
bullshit.
you,
Well,
man.
Fuck you, sir. Fuck you, man. Well,
Fuck
and just
Avengers
to wrap
Infinity
up,
War.
oh yeah, yeah. But no. Just to wrap up this conversation, I mean, like,
We're allowed to agree to disagree, sir.
yeah. Like, I understand what you're saying. I think wiping out the half population is like a very unique motivation. I just don't think it wasn't well developed in this film. I think if we had more time with Thanos, I think I could have been more satisfied or more developed. But they just didn't do the way I think they should have done. So that's my problem. And I don't have a problem with changes. I mean, I agree with you. Like, I don't know how you deal with death. To be honest,
It's
you know,
tough. Did you ever think about it before? I thought about it.
no, but then at the same time, it's like just put it there. Like, I mean, I like just say he was obsessed with death. I mean, that's really it. But then the thing is, you
Yeah,
know,
but how
like,
the fuck? Yeah, but your general audience. Remember, Andres, we talked about how you have to take into consideration the general audience on all this stuff. Always,
yeah,
your general
I
audience
know.
is not going to know who Lady Death is.
Yeah, I think the the way they did it with Thanos is like we should have like at least a post credit scene that like you saw death and like she talks about Thanos.
But it would have made no sense then.
But yeah,
Because
but
the whole movie would have gone by, and his whole reasoning for wanting to do the snap would have been for everything to not end up becoming like his home planet Titan ended up. Which we saw his home planet, it was fucking eviscerated. It was a barren wasteland.
I know that, but it's like I try to figure out like, well, I just feel like his motivation just didn't make sense to like get rid of him.
Do you understand where I'm coming from when I say that they at the point that Infinity War came out, they weren't even close to establishing we still haven't. They still haven't established the cosmic beings yet at all firmly with Galactus. The Watcher is not live action, right? The Watcher is only in What If. It's only an animated. That stuff is not MCU canon.
Well, first up, they didn't own the Watchers. That was still at Fox, so they couldn't do anything with the Watchers.
Either way, the Watcher is not even one of the big power beings I'm talking about. The Watcher is just a race of aliens, right? You know what I'm saying, that watches over time.
Well, yes,
I'm talking about we saw Eternity, right, in Thor: Love and Thunder, but not even as the being, the Eternity, but only as like a like statue, right?
Yes, because
we've never, at the point that Infinity War came out, they've never even come close to even giving us Nova. They gave us Captain Marvel and the Guardians of the Galaxy for the cosmic shit, and that's it, right? And we saw Ego, and we saw some of the Celestials and the Eternals, but not in action, really. Only in like flashbacks and like little bullshit scenes. So they never established any of that stuff from the comics at all. Going into Infinity War, it wasn't there to work with.
I disagree. It doesn't matter. You had to establish this like thing. Like, we didn't establish all the Gauntlet fully until this movie. So I just
they had to simplify it to sell it for a general audience.
That I agree. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
does that make sense? They got to make money. That's the most important thing, is making money, right?
Yeah.
Selling tickets.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and also, you brought up Mephisto. Like, you could easily like change Death's role to some other comic book character that we know. Either.
See, but that wouldn't make any sense though, because Death's only relevance in the comics is fucking Thanos. Other
Yeah.
than that, who gives a shit about death?
Yeah, I mean, it's how many years?
Cyber,
Like
can you
5
still
years
believe, can
now?
you believe me in time? The time cop is still fucking with me about this stupid fucking death shit. Even though you dipped
Yeah.
out and came back, where he's still trying to talk about this lady death crap. And I'm trying to explain
I
to him
just think,
it never would have worked in the movie.
I mean, no.
Uh,
It could work. Like, I believe we can
How?
work it. It could
Okay,
work.
first off, Andre, be quiet for a second. Don't forget, Andre's the 60-minute man, Jeff. So you know if you start getting my subject, he'll fucking start talking.
But
for
I thought
hours on end.
when it came to going back and forth, he cuts it down to like 15 minutes or whatever, right?
No, he's still 60-minute man.
Oh, I didn't
But
know
this
that.
the whole death thing, I think if they were gonna do Lady Death, they would have had some sort of cameo or some sort of like thing leading towards Lady Death.
Establish it in some way. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you have to establish a character in some way, Cyber? You can't just plop them into a fucking movie and be like, here's Lady Death, right?
Exactly.
Like, this
Like,
is the reason why
yeah.
Thanos is motivated to do all this shit. Is this not okay? Now what? How much screen time do you give her? What? How, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does it work? How does that work?
Yeah. So unfortunately, just like what I was saying earlier about the Soul Stone, that's the exact same thing what they did with the Soul Stone. They just dropped it into Endgame or into Infinity War, and it was there, and it's always been there.
Cyber, you're like the heart of our logical side of the MCU's bleeding edge over here. You know what I'm saying? So can you explain to Andres how what I'm saying makes sense, that like it wouldn't have been plausible to plop something that even comic book people don't even know, that some don't even know about Lady Death that much? Because again, she's a character that's only known for Thanos. She's not known on her own, and she only rubs elbows, and you only see her in the comics with big characters like Eternity and like Galactus and shit and whatnot, right? The big fucking power, like universal characters, right? You know what I'm saying? The celestial level characters. We never met any of them except Ego going into Infinity War.
Yeah, so putting it into perspective. So, for instance, just like Mr. Andres earlier was talking about how did Thanos know Tony? Same logic applies to this whole aspect about Lady Death. Now, we know that Thanos knows about Lady Death from the comics, but in the MCU itself, they have not established anything to talk about Lady Death. So, prior to this, the events of the destruction of New York in Avengers 1, the outcome of what Thanos did with Ronan and Guardians 1, with everything that Thanos has brought to the table to bring what Infinity War is about. Basically, if you think about it, there is nothing suggesting anything that has to do with celestialness. This is all Thanos. That's how they wrote it out. So the plausibility of them talking about Lady Death is very nil to none, because they're not following the comic book story anyways. So maybe down the road, if they decide to bring Thanos back at some point and maybe talk about Lady Death and bring them together into something, they're probably going to have to give us information prior to that to bring that back to be a full-scale story. So, yeah, it's very plausible that they eventually, in the possibility in the future, they might decide to talk about that storyline. But in the current MCU, it's not plausible to bring that character to life because Thanos has been killed.
There you go. All right. So moving on. Okay. Now we know where we're at right now. We're basically at that point where Thanos portals directly into the Battle of Wakanda, right? To go ahead and again complete his quest, finish that gauntlet up with them stones, right? And get that fucking Mind Stone from Vision. Because unfortunately, his children couldn't handle their business and whatnot and make that happen for him. So he had to come down there and get his hands dirty himself, right? And I don't need to go to break this down, step by step. We all know what happens, right? Thanos basically, manhandles all of the Avengers that try to step to him and shit and whatnot, right? And essentially, he, Wanda, we get the heart-wrenching moment, more heart-wrenching probably for more others that are more emotional with this stuff and whatnot, especially for women who connects so much with Lizzie Olsen's representation of Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, right? Which I think that it's honestly she should be given her proper due, because we've always talked before in these reviews about how Black Widow, ScarJo has been a role model to so many young women out there, so many young girls that were MCU fans and whatnot. Well, at this point, Lizzie Olsen has done that same thing. She's a role model, like hella a role model. If you go out and look at how many people out there, how many young women out there and girls have their profiles or screen names on TikTok or Instagram based off WandaVision, right? Still to this day, in the millions. It's crazy. She has her own army of MCU fans, basically. But we get that it is a powerful moment. It was probably the most emotional moment for me in the movie when Wanda had to take out Vision, right? And then it was even more intense so torturous to have to watch Wanda then have Thanos use the fucking time stone to reel back time, right? And just steal. And this was for Disney. I thought this was fucking pretty crazy that they actually let him. It's only because he's a synthesoid that they let Thanos just rip that fucking jewel right out of his head like that, right? Because that was pretty violent. And I thought it was a great depiction of Thanos' sheer brute strength and power. Like we saw him take apart Hulk in the beginning of the film, right? Just outmatch him completely and be stronger than him too. I don't know about y'all. I never mentioned it in the last first part of the review, but I was a little disappointed that Hulk could not throw down hand to hand with Thanos at all. Like he did not have any hand to hand skills with Thanos. Hulk in the comics can fight. I think I did mention this before. I think we lost Cyber. Cyber, are you still there? Oh, Cyber is in the. Are you in the Iceman dimension?
Yep.
All right, folks. Cyber is Iceman for the rest of the show until he Icemans himself.
Jesus Christ.
It's got to be the Wi-Fi, folks. I'm just messing with Cyber. I know how frustrating Wi-Fi issues are, but no, it's heartbreaking to see Vision get tossed around, like just tossed to the side like that, right? And basically, right at that point, is when you see Thor bust through with Stormhammer and stick that bitch right in fucking Thanos' chest, right? And of course, we get the you should have went for the head, and Thanos does the snap. And that's our movie. We get all the people crying in the theaters and whatnot and everything, right? Because we watch everybody get dusted, And then, of course, we get the awesome, outstanding, I was fucking like, I was actually like, woo, woo, when I saw the end credits scene with Captain Marvel, the logo for Captain Marvel on Fury's pager, baby, right? When regular people started getting snapped away from Wakanda. And like on Titan. So Cyber will be back, folks. But Andres, your thoughts, sir, on the ending of Secret Invasion. What the fuck am I talking about, man? Secret Invasion. Infinity War.
Infinity War. Or Secret Wars. No, this was really great. I mean, first off, Liz is awesome. Great actress. Yeah, I agree. I mean, everyone's been discussing.
Oh, yeah, she's a role model, without question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love her since, I think, I don't know why Marvel's not thinking to do a Scarlet Witch solo film. I mean, people really want that, and I want that. It's the same situation with Black Widow. It's like
save it. We're going to talk about it on one of the Monday shows soon. I'll write it down. We'll talk about that in the Bleeding Edge report. It's a good conversation.
Oh, the Scarlet Witch.
Save it.
Yeah. But let me just finish up. Just like
finish your thoughts. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It's same situation with Black Widow, but whatever. It's I don't know. They focus with the wrong characters. That's the thing. But yeah, the ending with Vision. That he's a sensor, but the way they did it, and also the change of color was kind of creepy. Turning it all gray was very shocking. And yeah, the blip thing. Well, first off, another nitpick is like, I hate that after the movie was released, the internet had to call out why the Thor didn't went to his head, and they had to address that in game. I hate that, but whatever. we'll discuss that more in Endgame, but like, it's like, come on, like he was able to stop him. But yeah, so the Blade thing was really shocking, and I mean, some of it really worked, some didn't. I thought the Black Panther one is really effective because of Okoye, and especially what the sequel did. It just made a lot of sense. Yeah, Groot. My favorite is the Rocket and Groot thing because seeing Groot again now disappearing like the second time, it really hurts him. Because I mean, Groot is sort of Rocket's child, basically a friend. And yeah, then we got to Team Iron Man. You got the Guardians getting disappeared, and like the Spider-Man one. Like, come on, like the Spider-Man one was like kind of funny. It's just like he's trying to hold himself, together, and then it's like, yep, he's dusted. And I know people are crying for Tom Holland, but he's a good actor. He just knows how to just work off with Robert Downey Jr. And yeah, the ending was pretty good. I really dug it. Not much to say about that. The post-credit scene, I like the post-credit scene. I just think Captain Marvel, the movie, didn't really like lift up with that post-credit scene. I mean, she was just like a Deus Ex Machina type of character in Endgame. Like, she wasn't a character in Endgame, and so I just felt like her inclusion in the MCU was just too late and forced in. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
That's it. That's all you got out of the whole ending.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I think it's because like I don't like Endgame, and so where they take it is it's just like I prefer they went with a different direction.
I like the ending. That's the part you don't like.
Yeah. But it's not that bad. I really enjoy it. I think that the Russo Brothers did a good job of making it like I like it because it's very Empire Strikes Back. The heroes lost and the villain win, so it's really cool ending. I just think that like the reaction, how the ending goes is very I get the people get cried because of the heroes, but it makes sense. I mean, everyone loves these characters. The hard, like the one that does hit hard is the Chadwick Boseman one. That one's like,
it is. I know.
Yeah. So like, at least see, like that's why I like that more.
Go ahead and talk about that. That's actually was going to be my last question. Was going to be just like, hold on, sorry about that. I apologize. I've got stupid stuff going off in the background, but no. I wanted to just mention that, like, I mean, honestly, this is Chadwick's last great performance as Black Panther, right? And I thought he really maximized his screen time in this film.
Yeah, I agree. Even Endgame, like despite I don't like Endgame, I will always cherish, the moments he was there, because he's still great in that film. So I think that Chadwick is one of the best actors we had. He really brought his A game in this movie, including the cast of Wakanda people. Like, they brought their A game. Like, I was so happy that we got everyone, like at least the ones that I liked from.
They did. They were all really good in the film too. They were all really good.
Yeah, and I was very happy about that. So it's very sad that Chadwick is no longer with us, but at least that it's going to be remembered forever with these movies.
It's really amazing, isn't it? How like Chadwick's presence as Black Panther made those characters better. Okoye, right? Shuri, right? He made them better.
I think I agree, but I think they can stand by their own.
I'm just saying, it's just a fact. They were better with the figurehead there.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Whenever we do one kind of ever, like it is a loss, in that sequel.
No, it's obvious that they should have recast the role. And like, honestly, I can't say anything because for the longest time, Andres, I think I've told you before, right? You remember that I was on the whole team, never recast Chadwick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there'll never be another Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? Like, just remove the Black Panther from like Wakanda Forever. I was on that whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on the Podcast of Champions on a show one day. And I'm sure you've experienced this yourself. Other guests on the show, their their comments and opinions on the situation affected me and changed my mind. Right. To where right there, I realized, you know what? They should recast the character, but it was too late at that point to, like, you know, beg Kevin Feige to do it. So,
yeah, it's very tough. Like, and the thing that's very annoying is like,
well, they're going to do it now. It sounds like they know that if they want to do a third Black Panther film, they have to.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into my appearance. We're just gonna have a long review, but you know, I think the Black Panther series is fine. I just think there's a lot of miscommunications that happen with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Rio, why not? The recasting of Chadwick, I'm not against it, but it's not like the ones like particularly Joker, you know, with Heath Ledger, where like that was a little easier to kind of swept away, you know, and we didn't have any more of his version at all. Like where here is different because like the continuing the timeline still. I you know, the only way they can get it is if Secret Wars reboot the whole thing, you know, and then I think we could be fine. So that's all I have to say.
Okay. Oh, in terms of Black Panther?
Yeah, if they really are serious, you know, like I'm not against it. And
there he is. He came back.
Yeah, because of Black Panther.
Is that Wi-Fi still kicking your ass, Cyber?
My box decided to just shut off completely at one point.
The Wi-Fi box?
Yeah.
No shit. It just shut off?
Yeah, just shut off.
What the fuck? I've never heard of that before.
Yep. So I had to reboot it, and then when I got back,
is that what's been best? Is that what's been best with your Wi-Fi? Is the fucking modem or whatever, or not the modem, but the what's it called?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi box. Yeah, it keeps going out. Yep.
Oh, is it like a loose cable?
No, just the box is a piece of shit.
Okay, is it losing power?
This is the first time it just turned off.
Okay, shouldn't I would think that don't the companies replace that shit for free?
No.
Oh, they actually charge you for that crap?
Yep.
No shit. I was gonna say because if you needed like a Wi-Fi booster or something like that or whatever, whatnot, I have that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. Like I've got an extra one or two of those like laying around and whatnot that I could send you and have it to you in a couple days. If I thought maybe the Wi-Fi was just shitty, and you were having like a bad Wi-Fi month.
No, just the box. It's like an older box and it just tends to be being crap.
I'm sure mine will probably go eventually too. You know what I'm saying? Comcast, Xfinity, the garbage that they are with their Wi-Fi, just raised my fucking bill from $90 a month to $120 a month for no reason, basically. Like they have no explanation for why they did it at all. I'm like, that's a big fucking jump, man. Mm-hmm. $30 a month? Holy shit. Just for Wi-Fi? Mm-hmm. Right. Anyways, sir. Your thoughts, sir. We're hoping you come back on because I went through the final ending with Thanos, him entering into Wakanda, and then everything that unravels from there in terms of him manhandling the Avengers, Wanda having to take out Vision and whatnot and everything to destroy the Mind Stone, then Thanos using the Time Stone to just simply bring it back and then violently pluck that fucking stone out of Vision's head. Right.
Yeah.
And then, and then Thor, plunging Stormbreaker up on his ass and him, saying you should have gone for the head and doing a snap. And then what happens after that? We all know. We get everybody dusted and whatnot and everything. And then we get the Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, end credit scene. Right. Which I was stoked in the theater when I saw that. I didn't know that how bad Captain Marvel, the first film, would be, that it would be almost as bad as getting down by She-Hulk. We're just watching the movie.
No,
right?
You were in love with She-Hulk. You were happy about that
movie. I'll be in love with She-Hulk when she pops up again in the MCU and actually like stops her bullshit and just is She-Hulk and fucking like acts and beats some ass and shit and whatnot and does what She-Hulk does. It stops fucking around. They stop writing her character the way that they did and whatnot and do it right. Do it proper justice. Then I'll be down with She-Hulk again. I never had a problem with She-Hulk until she started doming dudes and shit and whatnot. Right? And the biggest fucking the most alpha, like masculine character in the entire series that she was in, that she featured in, was a gay bottom. right? Dude. He was the most masculine like guy in the whole series. So, anyways, Cyber, your thoughts are on the ending of Infinity War. Take as much time as you want, and then we'll do ratings and get out of here.
So, the ending of the film is my least favorite part of this film. I mean, up to the point, you know, like after Gamora gets killed, I was like, oh, okay, that's one person. That you know, and Loki at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, come on. And I just remember thinking, oh, it can't get any worse than that. And you know, basically, you know, after Thanos comes through, the different Avengers try to stop him, and he just blasts each of them away, and then gets the Vision. You know, Scarlet Witch, it destroys the Mind Stone before Thanos can get to it. But because he has the Time Stone, he's able to turn back time, grab Vision, and rip the stone right out of his head, and put it back into the gauntlet so that he has full power. And then, you know, after he does that, then he gets the gemstone, and then all of a sudden Thor comes out of nowhere and starts throws Stormbreaker down. Oh my God, that scene was so freaking awesome. Watching it just come down, flying through the power of the Ophidian stones, and then launching into Thanos' chest. I was like, yes, yes. I thought that was so awesome, and I was like, yes, keep going, kill him. He's like, I told you I would get you back, you know. And he's like pushing it into his chest, and the look on Thanos' face is just like priceless. And then he's like, you should have went for the head, and then snaps his fingers. I was like, no. And then when he pops up in that like Nirvana place, like he did when he got the Soul Stone, and Gamora's there, little Gamora, and it's like, did you do it? And he's like, yes. And I was just kind of like, oh God, this is stupid. And you know, then it goes back to him in reality, and he's like, what have you done? And he disappears, and you're just like, holy crap, he just did it. And then all of a sudden, all the people start dusting away. I was like, what the hell? And then like Black Panther disappears, Spider-Man disappears, all the Guardians disappear except for Nebula and Rocket. Freaking, you know, Scarlet Witch disappears, Doctor Strange disappears. You know, all these different characters disappear, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And basically ending with Thanos like showing like a victory sit down in his little garden or whatever you want to call it. I was like, and it goes to credits, and I'm like, that's how they're fucking ending this? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, ah. I was like, you have this fucking fantastic movie and you end it like this? I'm like, oh. But anyways, all of them come back, which is great, you know, of course, in the next film. But still, I was just like, I was literally sitting there going, oh, this movie is freaking fantastic. And why did it, you know, go from 10-10 to a 7 with this stupidity? I'm like, oh. But overall, great film. Love it. Great action throughout this whole entire film. That whole ending sequence is amazing. Thanos winning, I was really shocked they decided to go that route and have them have to deal with the consequences in the next film. I mean, all around, it was a great film and a letdown at the same time, but overall, just a really amazing film that was so entertaining and so fun. Great film.
Andres also hates the ending. Like, you know, which honestly, you know, it never occurred to me that anybody would I didn't know that you dislike the ending that badly, Cyber, to be honest with you. I had no clue. Like, I'm not, you know, I was surprised by Andres not like, I kind of got the gist that was from the last review that was his problem, was the ending. But I was just like, so I knew, me personally, I was mentally prepared for people to die, right? Going into the film, all the buzz was that we were going to lose characters, right? We knew that it had to happen. Right. Even though at that point we weren't the MCU's bleeding edge and whatnot and everything, I knew Cyber at that point, I believe, right? Cyber, we knew each other by the time Infinity War came out, didn't we?
Nope.
No, it was when Endgame came out. We knew each other.
Nope.
No?
We didn't know each other until 2020, sir.
Okay, you're right. All right. Okay. So it was 2020 when I met you on
because
Rizzle.
that's when Rizzle started.
What is it? I've got to, you know what? I've got to go find out. Didn't they change the name? Didn't they Rizzle change their name to
Yeah,
something
it's
else? Because I want to look. I
something
still
else now.
I still would like to look up the app once in a while and look at my old content here and there. If it was still even there.
Yeah, like I said, the app has changed completely. Like you can't even get to it. It's all online now. It's like you have to go to the internet.
Oh, you got to go to the website.
Yeah.
No, and you got to what? You got to pay to make content on there now. It's a pay for make content site.
Yep.
Yo, them fucking. I'm sorry, folks. As an aside here, y'all don't even know about Rizzle. You wouldn't even know anything about it. The people who run it are fucking idiots, man. Why they think anybody would want to pay to make content on that? But you know what, Cyber? We both know people who are probably still on there right now paying to make content on that bitch. I love it.
Oh, yep.
The same people that used to call me a racist and a white supremacist every day.
100%.
Yeah. They're on there sucking that Rizzle dick. Andres, you would have killed that on Rizzle, bro. Can you imagine if Andres time cop would have been on Rizzle? We would have had a blast shooting each other with the time cop shit.
He would have been too scared. He would have been too
Yeah,
scared.
Andres, honestly, Rizzle was fucking hardcore, bro. Like, I don't know if you would have been able to handle Rizzle.
No,
It was worse. It was worse than TikTok. Just imagine a platform where they let you get away with anything. You could basically do whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as you didn't like straight up, you could probably pull off blackface on Rizzle, Cyber. I probably could have done it.
Probably.
I got to give him credit for all the shit I talked to whatnot and everything and whatnot and everything. And I gave as much as I got. They never bothered me. They let me make my content. Of course, they were eating off me the whole time, just like they were eating off you, right? But sorry, folks. This is nostalgic time for me and Cyber. Our time at Rizzle. We got to go back and we haven't talked about Rizzle in forever, Cyber. Those were the good old days, man. Rizzled it up. I wonder how Clapper's doing.
Who knows?
With their fucking fake ass.
I don't look at the past. I look at the future.
Cyber, go join Bigo Live sometime and check out how fake that shit is. But anyways, all right, let's do our ratings. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop a straight up on the full film and on part 2 of the film. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Cyberneticshark, sir?
What?
Rating?
Oh my god, what is up with this shit?
Can you not hear me?
What was it?
Your rating for the movie and for part 2?
Oh. My rating overall for the film is a solid 8. Because of the ending. For the beginning of the film up to the like last 10 minutes is a 10. But that final 10 minutes is an 8.
I'm crying inside. I'm just a pop culture guy, sir. You're rating. What do you wait? Don't wait. This is gonna be the first fucking movie in 3 months that you're not gonna drop an 8 or a 9 on, and this is gonna be the one you're gonna pick and give it a 6. After you gave the Dead City finale like an 8.
Dead City finale 8. I can think of finale was like a 7 out of 10. I think I don't.
See, look at that. Cyber automatically a 7.
Yeah. So for this movie, this one's tough. It's number 5 in my ranking, so it has to be a 10 out of 10. So, yeah.
It was tough. It was tough to give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, well, despite my nitpicks on how they handle Thanos as a villain, or certain characters, in moments I don't care, like addressing the Black Widow and Bruce relationship briefly, which was dumb, and Hulk, Hulk being misused, but it doesn't get worse in the next movie. So
yeah, Hulk sucks in Infinity War. He does.
Yeah, so it was like should I drop it to a 9 because of that? And
you're right. He kind of sucks at Endgame too.
Yeah, but at least he's serious in this movie compared to the next movie, because next movie he's just like joking. It's like,
at least his son George Costanza showed up in She-Hulk.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, I think it was the lead singer from POD.
Is that what it was?
Oh my
How is
God.
that? How is that motherfucker going to be young in the Young Avengers? He's balding.
And also, is he a teenager? Like, it's not like he's a teenager from the looks of it. Like,
I think Hulk's son grew up like WandaVision's twins, like Wanda's twins, where they became like they went from babies to like talking and
Yeah.
shit, and like walking around in like 5 minutes. That must have what happened with Scar, because like
I mean,
the Hulk fathered him in like in fucking Ragnarok, and then all of a sudden in She-Hulk he was balding.
I mean, he's an alien, so it makes sense.
Anyway,
But don't forget though that Scar was probably born after Hulk got to Sakaar. So Sakaar, he had been on Sakaar since the end of the second Avengers film.
well,
So that was 2015. So technically, by the time Thor got there, it would have been 2 years later or 3 years later.
he
So
must be from an alien
technically,
race
Scar-
where you rapidly age or some shit and whatnot, because he looked pretty damn old when he showed up in She-Hulk.
it just was bad CGI.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking make it better, I guess.
That goddamn Victor Alonso, that fucking goddamn cunt. Oh, there goes Andres, the fucking time cop again with the goddamn time warp fucking sound again. Andres, I'm gonna get you a back scratcher, brother. All right, so that you can stop doing that goddamn time warp sound. You have no idea. Ask Cyber. We should show him what that sounds like.
Yes.
It sounds like you're in goddamn the movie Twister.
Good. So I'm annoying you. That's my
Yep.
point. It's scratching.
Only when you scratch your fucking back, it sounds like I'm in the movie Twister all of a sudden. The Twister universe.
The Twister.
Which is not what I want to live in, bro. Right?
Brah.
It's hard to knock down chicks and shit and whatnot when you gotta grab them out of the air.
Good.
Anyways, so nice Cypher. Nice finding, Cypher. I like that. Is that how it would look if you had to grab chicks out of the Twister dimension to okay.
Yep.
How would speed dating work?
You gotta grab them.
No.
You gotta grab them by their tits.
If you're good at speed dating, then you'd be okay. You'd do well in the Twister dimension with the ladies.
No. There's no Twister dimension. Please, no. Just
I
one
mean, he's
dimension.
got Angela Bassett in the time.
If there's Angela Bassett Nazi dimension and whatnot, everything, there has to be Twister dimension.
Yeah,
No.
it's gotta be.
No, it's just there's one that, like, okay, there's sections in the time cop.
Oh God, here we go.
You know, yes. There's like the Lord.
Stop him before he starts talking.
Lord of Time dimension, the Time Lord dimension.
All right, folks.
and then the Doctor Who dimension.
From the
and
Time
then-
Lord dimension to the Doctor
Hey,
Who
Time
dimension.
Lord. Time
Yeah.
Lord. Excuse me. Time Lord. Time Cop.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I've been putting this off, so I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. I'm not doing plugs right now, Cyber. Just give me 1 minute. Folks, this is Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel and his home base for his individual content. Now, Cyberneticshark, sir, over here, has been, like, wondering for 3 years when I was going to do a fucking Amazon gift card goddamn giveaway. So I'm doing this shit right now, all right? And I'm carving it out and whatnot with everybody present, so we can get this out of the way and whatnot and everything and get Cyber over 1,000 subs. It might not be by the end of the year, Cyber, but it's going to goddamn happen. So it's very simple, folks. I, Jeff S., a.k.a. True Knowledge, am a man of my word. So when I tell you that, very simply, if you simply go on Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel, this is not complicated. It's right there in front of you. If you simply go there and you simply screenshot yourself actually subscribing to it, right? You've subscribed at that point, okay? My literal email and my contact information is not complicated. We're the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. You can find us on any major social media network, any social media platform, on all of them, under the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. It never changes. The title is always the same on all of them. You want to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, our Facebook page. You want to hit me on Twitter, X, however you want to contact me. Okay, I'm going to give you my email directly right now on the screen. It's not complicated, very simple. Simply go in there, all right? Give me a screenshot of you subscribing to Cyber's YouTube channel, all right? And reach out to me on social media or at my email directly which I'm putting on the screen right now, give me your screenshot, right, in the comment sections of the 2 parts of the review of the Infinity War film, which I'm about to show, okay, and also to my email right here, the MCU'S@gmail.com, along with your address. I have right here in my hands, right here, I have a fucking shit ton pile of $50 and $25 Amazon gift cards here. All right, this is a thick pile. What I gotta do? I'm not a magician, so look, there's a lot of money here, a lot, like $700 worth of Amazon gift cards there. I'm a man of my word. Okay, it's very simple. You go, and I'm gonna stop the screen share here, and you send to that email right there your contact info, your address, whatever, whatnot, and your screenshot of yourself subscribing to Cybernetics YouTube channel, right? I'll put you in the order, in line for the raffle, for the giveaway of the Amazon gift cards. Here is our YouTube channel for the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. Right here is the first Infinity War review that we did. It's right there. Bam. There's the comment section. Go in the fucking comments. Drop your screenshot, right? Drop your, your info in here if you want. Please. Or to my email right there. That's where you can go. Not complicated. Back to screen sharing again. This is great, folks. Follow me here. Back to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. At our YouTube channel, here is this review right here. Part 2. The War Rages On. Uncut Infinity War review. Go in that comment section right there if that's where you're comfortable doing it. Give me your screenshot of you subscribing to Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel and stay subscribed. Okay? Very simply. Because all I'm simply going to do is next week, all right? Next week in December, okay? On Friday, on what would be Friday next week, Andres?
The 8th.
The 8th. On the 8th, I'm going to do our first $50 Amazon gift card giveaway to whoever I raffle and pull out of my email and out of those comment sections. You got 2 comment sections in my email to use. All right? I'm going to give away that first $50 Amazon gift card. That's Friday the 8th. The second one, $50, will go out on what would be, I believe, then the 15th. Okay? So that's 2 Fridays in a row. Before the end of the year, we have a chance to get a $50 Amazon gift card. And all you got to literally do is subscribe, screenshot it, right? Go to Cyber's YouTube channel. I'll show it one more time. So it's very simple. He's not hard to find. Cyberneticshark's YouTube channel, subscribe, screenshot yourself subscribing. Stay subscribed because I will check before I send you any money. You will not get free Amazon gift card money if you desubscribe. And you've got 2 comment sections to work with and my email to work with that's on screen. Simply send me a picture of that screenshot and give me your address. To give me, a screen name, your name, whatever. So I have it for the address. And I will do the giveaways. And I will pull out your name. And you will get a $50 Amazon gift card. But you can then take to the massage parlor. Whatever you want to do. Right? I mean, I don't know what you're going to get at the massage parlor for $50. But good luck with that. Of course, I had to tie that to the massage parlor. So there you go, folks. I'm going to carve this out. Right out of this live stream and whatnot and everything, but this is the gist of it. This is the Cyber 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to be doing one of these for Andres too, but this is our first one for Cyber. Get him over 1,000 subs. What's up? All right, it's very simple. You've got 2 weeks to make $50 real quick. I know y'all can use $50. Okay, the 5 o'clock free crack special only lasts for a couple of minutes. Then you got to buy more crack. That's the whole deal with crack, folks. If you haven't figured it out yet, that's the deal. I would know. I'm TrueKnowledge. You know what I'm saying? Me and Tyrone Biggins are tight. Just to be clear. We're buddies. Anyways, now, Cyber, you can actually do plugs.
Hey, folks out there. So if you like me here on the panel or like my moderating, you can definitely check out my solo content or that Mr. Jeff just explained. You can find me underneath the awesome and amazing YouTube. Or you can find me on other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those great places. and I pretty much post regularly. I have more new content up soon. I'm in the editing process, so you'll be seeing some more reviews and more trailer reactions, stuff like that. Stuff coming up, and just keep on subscribing. Let's get us to that the great 1,000 movie mark. As you can see, I already picked up 2 since the last time I was on. I'm at 712, so let's keep on doing it, folks. Appreciate you guys. You guys are rocking it, and thanks for watching.
That's right. And we got Chuck Norris up in the house. Chuck Norris is, of course, the Secretary of Commerce in the Jean-Claude Van Damme regime in the year 2066.
Secretary of Defense.
Yes. Dolph Lundgren, of course. No, I thought Dolph Lundgren was the Secretary of Defense, but that's okay. Dolph can head a different department.
He's head of military.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a general in my dimension.
Okay.
You guys got it right with Chuck Norris and Dolph Lundgren. I'm proud of you guys.
That's a strong team, dude. Angela Bassett, Chuck Norris, and Dolph Lundgren, and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas, pop culture guy. Thank you so much, you guys. As you heard from Jeff, please hit me and Cyber up to the 1,000 subscriber mark, so you can get those amazing gift cards. So I'm up to 850 subscribers. So that's good. Recently I posted my Doctor Who 60th anniversary now, so check that out. There's going to be more Doctor Who content, so no worries. Tomorrow I'm hoping to do a Addams Family movie tribute, first film. Check out our live stream. This Sunday we're not doing live stream, but the following Sunday, the 10th, me and Jeff are going to do Lost in Translation live stream review. So please check us out next Sunday, the next following week. So, but yeah, that's where I'm. So thank you everyone and MCU community supporting me, and let's continue that.
There you go. And for once, I'll do some plugs, folks, for the MCU's Bleeding Edge. There you go. See, look, we're on every social media. We're not hard to find. All right. So if you're averse to sending emails to people or whatever and whatnot, you prefer reaching out to me on X, on Twitter. I man the station when it comes to all the social media stuff. That's where we're at right there. All right. It's not complicated. We're on Instagram. Just so you know, we do exist on all these platforms. You can hit me up right on here. There's our profile right there. That's us. We're the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Look at that. We actually have 14.1K followers. Who the fuck knows why? Lord knows. It must have been that deal I made with Mephisto. But there you go. I'm very easy to get along with and talk to and get a hold of. On no social media platform that we're on is there any restriction in contacting us. We don't do all that. We're wide open. If you want to hit us up, you can. So let's get Cyber over 1,000 subscribers. All right, it ain't complicated. You've got all the means and whatnot to get a hold of me that you need. All you got to do is screenshot yourself, subscribe, and the fucking subscribe button. All right? Dodge the silent third coast of the MCU's Bleeding Edge can hit the subscribe button in 2 seconds and do that shit. And then ask for a bonus.
Yes, he can. Yeah.
There you go. So, folks, that is our review of Infinity War. Next Wednesday, we will have, of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man 2. This Friday, we have The Truman Show to review. Cyber will be moderating. Next Friday, we'll have The Cable Guy. I'll be moderating. On the MCU's Bleeding Edge Report, next Monday, we're re-reviewing WandaVision Episode 6. We'll be doing WandaVision all the way through the end of the year until we do probably some sort of 10th anniversary for Andres. It's everybody's 10th anniversary this year. Cyber, is it your 10th anniversary as a creator?
Yeah. Yep.
Me and Andres were talking about this the other night.
2013.
It seems like everybody's there's a lot of anniversaries.
Full blown until 2017. So
you're close to. I thought you were close to your 10-year loosely too, because Andres is close to his 10-year, and we're almost at 6 month. Time doing the Bleeding Edge Report. So we're going to do some kind of special or whatever and whatnot to celebrate his 10 years. And, our 6 month together on the Bleeding Edge Report here probably is our last show of the year. Cyber, your Wi-Fi is very interesting right now. It looks like Cyber is Andres, you tell me, It looks like Cyber is about to flip us off or eat a sandwich. Oh, what? Wait, he came back.
Yeah. I think he was eating a sandwich.
Was he okay? Andre Cyber was eating a sandwich. Anyway, Cyber, you back with us, brother?
Nope.
No, he's not back with us. That's okay, folks. For Cyberneticshark, who I promise is okay, he's just having technical difficulties. He'll be all right. And for Andre, the pop culture guy, we are the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. We love all of you. God bless you. We will see you in the next show. Peace.
Tell me. I want to know.
Okay. I'll tell you. I'll tell your son. I'll tell Heather.
More you the daddy.
Okay.
You know how many times I've heard that on my show? You know what I say to
Say
it all the
on
time? I'm the father of
It's
some,
Tony's.
but not many.
Okay.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got 'em picking up the pieces.